Today, we are going to dive into a missing persons case. Two brothers, ages 3 and 4, have been missing for over a year. Hi, it's me, Dee Sparta. Welcome to my channel. How are you doing today, my friends? This is, I'm coming at you guys with a very heavy, heavy heart, and it's like, I want to get this recording done, but it's going to be hard, and I am all over the place on this. So, because I have been working on this for a few months, it was brought to my attention. So, Orrin and Orson West, also known as Classic and Sincere Pettis, went missing December 21st, 2020. Now, this case remains unsolved, and the biological parents and grandmother are trying to find out what happened to their boys. The adopted parents claim the boys disappeared while outside playing with their dog Chalk. Police used canines to try to find the boys. The canines could only find the boys sent inside the house, but not outside. So where are these boys? If you would like to get some more information about this case and some of the details that I've been able to research, and there's so much that I just couldn't verify, which is really unsettling to me because I wanted to have certain details verified. So I don't know. Yeah, this is going to be, I'm going to just put out what I've got, just lay it all out there. And then we can go into the tarot reading. And if you do want to just skip on ahead to that tarot reading, you know I got you covered. The chapter links are down below. So, if you want to stick around, I hope you do, we can dive into this case further. Welcome back. Thank you for sticking around, my friend. I am delighted that you're here. And I really want to take this seriously because these boys have been missing for over a year. And it's not right. Who knows what happened, but I really, I'm just hurting for the families involved. I really am. And I just want to do right in helping find these children and what happened to them. And I want to bring awareness, and I want people to open their mind, because we get our own personal, we get like our own personal views can clog what actually is really happening, because we're so used to, well, I would have done this, I wouldn't have done this. And if you go along those lines, then you're not actually able to see a bigger picture of what could have been, what really did happen, what could have happened, because we're all different individuals. We all think differently. We all react differently, believe it or not, and how we cope is often how we learn to cope while growing up, and it's different for everyone. But I don't think that is always taken into consideration. So I see that there's been a lot of hostility towards the biological parents and the adoptive parents, which is normal, but I think some people are just have blinders on and aren't willing to look further. Hopefully we could just broaden our horizons here and figure out what's going on. They went missing December 21st, just a few days before Christmas in 2020. And it was early evening, and it was from their home in California City. Now, Orson West was is three. Well, at that time he was 3. Now he'd be older. And at that time Orrin West was 4 years old. Now, the names they were given at birth were Classic and Sincere. We're going to get into the adoptive parents, the biological parents, and how the boys ended up in a foster care in the first place to be adopted. Now, Trezell and Jacqueline West are the boys' adoptive parents. Ryan Dean is the biological mother. Charles Pettis is the biological father. The boys were removed from their biological mother's home by Child Protective Services. Now, this is where I go, ooh. Sincere and Classic, or Orrin and Orson, were born in Bakersfield, California, to their biological mother, Ryan Dean. And what happened in her situation, from what I can tell, is the biological father was not involved in the children's life. The mother was raising these boys on her own. And she had returned home from work. And she noticed that one of the sons were crying in pain. So she took the baby to the hospital. This happened in 2018, right away. And it's Orrin who we're talking about here. But he was diagnosed with a broken femur in his leg. And the mother claimed she was unaware how this injury happened. Now, I want to just put some perspective into situations like this. Small children, toddlers, 1-year-olds, babies, their limbs, they can get dislocated and broken, unfortunately, very easily. I would like to bring up a case with my sister, compare it to what Ryan she went through. And I want to make this clear because my sister is white woman, she's educated, has a job, has a family, and then we have Ryan, who is a black woman on her own, raising these two boys. Okay? What I see happen with her and the boys, it just screams racism and just a judgment that she can't be a good mom. Because what happened, my poor niece, 1 year old, my sister had put my niece, or maybe she was a little younger, on the bed while she was getting ready. And my niece had somehow wrapped her arm around a blanket while she was just goofing off down there in the bed, And it looked like the blanket was just draping on. And so my sister picked up her baby, her kid, and the arm was still in the blanket, and pop! The scream from this child, I can only imagine. And the trauma my poor sister went through. The arm is just dangling out to the side, and her baby is screaming. Now, you find out that this does happen very easily, but you're still going to get questions. You'd think there'd be a lot more interrogation and such. What happened with my sister goes to the hospital, and at first she started getting looks and they were asking her questions well, what happened to her? And they had to have Child Protective Services come in. What's going on? And my sister just explained, I picked her up. I didn't notice her arm was caught in the blanket. Now, they didn't do much further they just, okay. My niece's arm's in a cast and was sent home with mom, and that was that. With the situation with Ryan, we're not quite sure, how much investigation did CPS do? Did they just think, oh, she's a negligent mom because she wasn't there. She was working and had someone else watching the child and they harmed him and that's her fault. I've noticed for myself, when my wife and I were a straight passing couple, when I would go into a doctor's office or medical care or hospital, the way I was treated is very different from now that I go in with my wife and I. We are definitely not a straight passing couple because she is a woman now, and I have been denied medical treatment because the doctor wouldn't even let me see anybody else, wouldn't let anything happen. It was a very horrible experience, and I get treated horribly. I do. Now that my wife is transgender and she and I go in together, now does that mean I'm going to just blame my wife for this? No. I realize that there's people who are ignorant, full of a lot of self-hate, and they're projecting and hating others because we're different, and that scares them, and it's wrong. So, yeah, I don't have a whole lot of faith in the government system when you're dealing with situations where people do have their own biases, and it does leak into their job. So, with that said, the children were taken away from Ryan and put into a foster home. Now, the home they were put in was Tizelle and Jacqueline. It was in 2018, and they officially completed the adoption process in 2019. Now, this just, that how fast that went is like, it's like they weren't even giving Ryan a chance to get her kids back. I don't know what happened. I don't know. But this doesn't sit right. Okay? Now they have 4 other children, 2 of whom were in foster care also, and were going to be adopted. And then they have their 2 biological children. And they've been taken into protective custody once the boys disappeared. That's kind of normal in a situation like this. Not always. I think once again we're dealing with people of color who are being mistreated and judged improperly. And so some things just don't get treated as the same if you're a white person. I'm just gonna say that. Because I mean, I look at Lori Vallow, and this white woman, she did some really heinous things and kept getting away with everything, and never lost custody of her kids, even when the father was like, "Hey, this isn't right," and and even if she stole the kids away, she still maintained them. It's like. Or you look at what happened with Gabby Petito. Here's a white couple, and the man just kind of joked with the cops, like, "Yeah, we just got a little tiff, and then next thing you know, they just separate them instead of doing what they should have done, is taking the bastard away. Yeah, instead they just kind of give him a little warning and a little ta-ta run off, and Gabby and he are both now gone. He may have taken his life, or who knows, and Gabby's life was taken by her then fiance, Brian. And so, I don't like how people cannot see racism is still so prevalent, and also the prejudice against the LGBT community. So we're just going to, I'm going on a tangent here, but I want people to understand that there really is a difference. You're saying, in your situation, white person, if someone were to take away your kids, they would have had to have a lot of strong evidence that you did something wrong. So you would think that that would be the same case for another person. And that is just not so. Now, I'm not sure. I do know that Trizelle and Jacqueline were going to be able to get their children back after 4 months of having to do certain things to just, prepare and make sure they're home and they got their stuff together to have the kids living with them again. Now, I don't know if this actually happened or not. I was deep diving into all sorts of scary places on the internet trying to find out more information, and just wasn't happening. I just kept hearing, all I could hear is they were taken. Don't know if it's like people don't want to report that they were given back or not for some reason. I don't know. But if you know, please, and show me where you found out the information. I'd appreciate that with comments down below. Now, the children allegedly were last seen by their adopted father, Trezell West, and he claims that the kids were outside playing with their dog Chalk in the backyard while he was gathering firewood, and the other children and wife were in the house, and the mother was wrapping gifts. Now, some people are like, well, why weren't all the kids out? Why weren't they? I'll tell you, when I went wrapping with my parents, sometimes I would be helping my mom wrap a bunch of gifts that were for my siblings, and they would be locked out, and it would be the same way. So we don't really know what happened, but put that into perspective. And people are saying, oh, it's really cold. Well, yeah, and I live in very cold weather, and we are outside, and it's 15, 12 degrees, and kids are standing there waiting to catch the school bus. If, cold climate doesn't mean that a kid, kids at schools here, I know in Boise, Idaho, unless it is pouring rain. If it's snowing, it's fine. If it's below freezing, it's fine. But if it's raining, then they want to keep the kids in. So that's the perspective. They're like, dress your kids for cold weather. You can get the kids in sweatpants and gloves and everything. So just take that into some consideration. Also in the situation, were the kids playing out there or not? That's where we get some sketchy information here. So Trezell, Mr. West, he went inside briefly, and then he came back out, and that's when he noticed the boys were gone. And he also noticed that the backyard gate had been left open. And so he drove around and asking neighbors if they'd seen Orrin or Orson. Now, neighbors have stated that they had not seen the boys outside at all. Now, if the boys were playing in the backyard, then they probably would not have seen them in the front yard. If they left, they might not have seen them. Something's off. Now, there is security cam footage of some of the neighbors' homes, which it showed that Trezell was actually driving around looking for the boys at the time that he said to the police that he was. So there's that, but there's just so many questions, folks. Now this was on a Monday by 6 p.m. The West reported the boys as missing because they couldn't find them anywhere. And then around 8 p.m., the California City Police sent out a very vague release with only a description of the boys. Not their name, no a lot of details, and then it wasn't until a few hours later when the adoptive parents were like, no, here's their pictures, here's their names, get this out there. So they were trying to push the police to, hey, change it up, and it took 4 hours to get that done. Why? I don't know whose fault it is. I'm curious, though. Now, that night, neighbors and police searched for the missing boys, and they were unable to find anything. The police also brought in canines and to their home, but they could not find any scent of the boys that they had been outside, yet they could find scent that the boys inside the house. And that caused confusion because the adopted father's like, the boys had been outside. So that right there might validate the claims that the neighbors had never seen the kids outside. The kids weren't outside. That might validate this. Now, they have actually dug up and did a search for the ground in the backyard to see if they could find any trace of the boys' buried, unfortunately. Nothing. There's been nothing found. The home is now boarded up and vacated. Now, I want to get into something here, and I'll just give me a moment. Hi, thank you. I just had to take a little break there and get some fresh coffee. Now, I want to go into, we're going to go back into more of the adopted parents, Trezell and Jacqueline. And now, there have been those who specialize in studying body language review what they've noticed in interviews done by Trezell and Jacqueline. Here's a few key things. Now, some people mentioned Trezell was holding his hands like this and closed off. While his posture, though, was very open, I'm thinking the boy was just cold. But the cold could also be an excuse to close up. That's one of those things where, because I know plenty of people, when they're freezing cold, standing outside, they do this. They're trying to keep warm. I just want to put that out there. So people who keep saying he was standing like that, that's sus. How sus was that really? He was cold. And he mentions the cold frequently in this interview. So that makes me go, okay, the poor boy's cold. Doesn't mean that, he doesn't know what's really happened or he's hiding anything. It's just, he's cold. What they did mention is they never mentioned the boys by their name. And they continued to refer to them in the past tense. That doesn't bode so well. And there did not appear to be any kind of an emotional connection. I would say they would say adopted parents, but I'm noticing that more in the adopted mother. The adopted father seemed more like, I was given responsibility to take care of these two boys, and I failed. And the mom, I will say this, I noticed the difference with just the parents themselves did not seem to connect. They weren't relying on each other. There was no looking like, oh yes, confirming things when looking at each other. There wasn't any kind of touching, holding hands or anything. It really, which would make sense if the father was like, I'm cold and I don't want to be bothered by you. This is him closing off to the woman. I could see that. To Jacqueline. I don't know. Something seemed off with Jacqueline, and that is just my personal opinion and the vibe I'm getting. Now, I have already gone over about the other children and that they've been put into protective services, and I don't know if they were able to get the children back after the 4 months or not. Now, I did some research about foster parenting in California because I kind of want, was there any kind of motivation? Was there a difference from having fostered a child to adopting? And what I did learn is the state of California pays foster parents the average of $1,000 to $2,609 per month to help with the expenses for taking care of the child. Now, this is one of the highest paying states in the nation in this regard. Now, having lived in California, it's freaking expensive, okay? I don't even think that's enough money for a month for a kid. That's how much I need up here in Boise, where it doesn't cost as much. I think foster care is not getting financed enough, but that's just me, okay? But still, there's that amount there. And it's paid out for each child you take into your home. So for both those boys, they were getting between $1,000 or $2,609 for them each. Now, there's also an adoption subsidy program. Now, the amount the state pays is not released. They do not release those kind of figures until after the adoption is approved, and it varies according to the parents, their circumstances, the children, their ages, and like maybe like their health and circumstances. Um, yeah. So obviously, the parents, the adoptive parents, were receiving some subsidy of some amount of money. Now, the biological parents have come forward for interviews. They're not together, but they have each done interviews, and I've watched a little of each. The biological father is suddenly like, those are my sons, these are my boys, even though he goes, they wouldn't remember me. Unfortunately, I do know of men whom were not in their child's life in the beginning, but yet they want to consider that they still have sons out there, and those sons mean something to them. And I'm sure they do. But I think, I don't know, something's off. Something was off. This guy, he could be feeling a lot of guilt because he wasn't there for the boys. And that could be why things just seemed, when I was hearing him, it was like rubbing me wrong. Plus, I know what my son's biological father did, and still has this whole, but they were my son, he's my boy. And it's like, but you have no relationship with him. You took off, you left the state. Now they are trying to reconnect, and I hope for the best. I really do. So I look at Charles, the biological father, and I really do hope, that he does care sincerely. And, he, like I said, there's probably a lot of guilt. I didn't step up for them. And their mom lost the boys, and I wasn't there to help out. Now, there's also some interesting other information. We're going to learn more about Charles's mother, the kid's grandmother, Brenda. Brenda did reach out to say that she could take in and foster the boys. When Ryan lost the boys and had them taken away from her, when the one boy broke his leg. And why that didn't happen, why the kids didn't go to a family, also, what happened there? Why weren't they allowed to be with Brenda? Brenda wasn't around when this happened. Neither was Charles. So, I don't know. See, there's a lot of suspicious things. Now, the biological family, they have been holding monthly prayer vigils and have been conducting their own searches for the boys, and still to no avail. They also have did a GoFundMe where they got money to put up billboards, and there's actually 2 billboards up of the children on different streets asking for help to find the boys. Now, in early February of last year, today's February 1st, so it's last February, okay? The reward for information leading to the boys was again raised to $120,000. So that biological families out there putting out or offering a reward. The adoptive family have been remaining very silent. They're also saying we were told to be silent, which could be true, but yeah. Now, just last week, Charles, the boy's biological grandmother, have filed a complaint in Kern County Superior Court alleging Kern County and Kern County Child Protective Services negligently placing the boys in the custody of their adoptive parents. The alleged abuse of the boys had suffered did not happen while they were with any of the boys' biological family. And Brenda, the grandmother, said that she would take, as I mentioned, take the boys into custody. This was refused. So they are going now after them legally. They're being accused of not investigating the home situation before removing the boys, being negligent in placing the boys into another home. Furthermore, Brenda and Charles said they were not aware of any vetting process that ultimately determined the Wests were qualified to adopt the boys. And they want to know, why were the boys not given to other biological family members? They're saying, the father and grandmother, they are suffered severe emotional distress. And this is all negligent, according to Kern County officials at CPS, because of how they allegedly mishandled the case. Now, Classic and Sincere, Orrin and Orson, they're still missing. Now, my intuition says, and I feel strongly, allegedly, the boys have been taken somewhere before the 21st and were never brought back home. I mean, this is just my personal feelings. I kind of have an idea what could have happened, but I want to see what the tarot cards show. I see money. I see an exchange. And I don't think the adopted parents realized how much their parents, biological parents, really did love and care for them. I'm just going to put that out there. So, we're going to get into the tarot reading. So stick around, folks. And please comment down below with other information that you may have heard or found. Let's get going. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and theories on this, because there's a lot of theories that I saw, like the kids were there's so many theories. So, but I want to see what we can figure out here, see what the spirit shows us. Welcome back. We're going to get into the tarot reading now. This is very serious. These boys have been missing for over a year now, and families are left without an answer. Just real heavyweight. So we're going to get into it. Right now I am listening to music on one of my favorite playlists from the group Fawn. They're German, and I love their music. And it helps with focus. And I will leave a link to their stuff down below in case you're curious what I'm listening to. Ooh. Here we go, and just please remember that this reading is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. Now, don't rely on a psychic to give you the answers to everything, folks. We got some insight, but, sometimes we can misinterpret things, too. Happens. Or you can change your path. Let's see here. Oh, you little boys. Oh, such beautiful little children. Whoa. Well, that's a lot of cards that flew out. I'm going to try this again. It's like 5 cards. Okay, 1 card just popped back out. All right. First, I'll show it to y'all. It's the 10 of Cups. I'm dealing with family. Broken family. Cards never cease to, surprise me. It's like sometimes, it's like we're in sync. Well, we are. It's amazing. The spirit, our great creator, please give me insight to what happened. Please. this represents both families, the adoptive and the biological. Um, that brokenness, unfortunately, shattered dreams, disputes, fighting, but yeah, broken. Mm-hmm. And then we have the Nine of Wands, which is also reversed here. Dealing with some shady motives here for adopting the boys. Just like, bam. Um, and why the boys are gone. It's like it was too much on the West. It was just too exhausting. The mother was exhausted. She couldn't handle the kids. I've just started seeing just too much. And they had there were 4 kids in the house. It's just too much. Um, mm-hmm. So, and here is the Fool reversed. Recklessness, bad decisions. I see where this is going, folks. The adoptive parents do know what happened, and they took on too much and didn't know what to do. It's just such a bad mistake. That's why the adopted father was feeling guilty. The 5 of Swords. There could have been a lot of competitiveness amongst the children and for attention, causing a lot of conflicts, disagreements. It was just a hassle for the parent, the adopted mother, to handle. I think Jacqueline was caught in the midst of all this craziness happening. And it was tearing, as she saw her family apart. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oops. Here's the Strength card reversed. This card, we're dealing with the exhaustion. This is, once again, doesn't have the strength. Very low energy, exhausted. I'm at my wit's end. I can't take this anymore. We have to do something. Here's the Empress reversed. Jacqueline is not very nurturing as a mother figure. She didn't attach or get close to the kids that she adopted. It's like she kind of felt pushed into it, maybe. I'm saying it was a nice way to, have extra money. It just kind of, yeah. Mm-hmm. Kind of the Page of Cups. Everything's been unexpected. So a surprise happened. Something unexpected came up that was making it even harder. I don't know. Something to do with someone's health or the lack of money or something happening. Here we're dealing with the Seven of Wands. Being conviction, defiance, feeling very defensive. Tearing the family apart. And then we have the good old hangman here. Giving into bad decisions. Looking for another perspective. But from the cards around it, it's not a good perspective. So we're looking into what to do. Let's see here. I'm just seeing a contract with someone else. And as soon as I said that, here's the Three of Pentacles upside down. Oh. Shit. Money being transferred for the boys. In exchange, there's some regret. There's a lot of regret. And the Ace of Cups upright. The boys are in a new family, a new relationship. The boys have a new relationship because of a contract. They've just been tossed around. This is rethinking. Did we do the right thing? Should we have given the boys away? I think the boys had been given away a few days before they reported them missing. It was like, well, how do we handle this? How do we explain what happened? It's like a rehoming situation I'm seeing here, which is really disgusting. Here is the Four of Swords reversed. Just this burn out. This just keeps coming. It's the West just overwhelmed with the kids, so they thought, well, we'll just rehome the boys, and but it doesn't seem to. They didn't think it clearly enough. Here is the Six of Cups reversed. This is leaving home, moving forward. So we do know the boys left home. And so that they can go forward with their own family. Oh gosh. Here's the Knight of Wands. They thought they could get away with it. They totally thought that this was going to work out. The boys would be safe. Where are they now? I don't know. Here's the Eight of Swords reversed. It's just a circle I'm seeing here. Just exhaustion. The West family, too much for them. I kind of want to look into the biological parents. I don't think I'm going to get anything on them. I'm just... Okay. Six of Wands reversed. Just like, this is like pride. Someone boastful. The Four of Pentacles holding on to money. They wanted to get the kids back. Yeah, here's the Two of Pentacles. They were trying to get money. This is their fight to get money to bring the boys back home. This is where we're seeing with the GoFundMe, the billboard signs. They are not giving up. They're resilient. When you look at this card here, this resilience is going on here. They're like, we're not going to give up. I can't let go of the hope. Can't let go of this hope. Oh, that poor mother. Our heart is... See, the other family, I didn't feel this heaviness. I felt more like guilt of and overwhelmed wicked badness. But this is like, I have failed and lost my family. Yeah, there's the Nine of Wands reversed. She doesn't trust, they don't trust the adoptive parents. A lot of distrust here, a lot of distrust. Nor do they trust the officials. They don't trust CPS and how they handled their case. They want to get down to the core of what really happened. Here's the card of distrust right here. So like, woo! Two of Cups is about distrust. They really think the adoptive parents know exactly where the kids are. And here we have, we have the Devil card reversed. Now this card makes me go, oh? This is them, as I said, they really believe the adoptive parents took them, did something with the boys, and this is them investigating, looking into these darker areas. Were the kids trafficked? Were the kids rehomed? Are they still alive? They really believe that they're still alive. Are they, how much danger are they in? Whoever has them, do they even know that these are the missing boys and they actually have living biological parents who want them? I don't know. Here is the King of Wands reversed. Impossible expectations. Oh man, it doesn't look like it's going to be them finding, the likelihood of them finding the children. Yeah. We have the Wheel of Fortune here, and it's reversed. Bad luck. With the case and everything, when I see that she was CPS mishandled. For allegedly, I'll say, mishandled the case when they took the boys away from the original mom. Yeah, here we are with the card. They should have never separated these two. Never, ever. It was wrong. This is Judgment card here. There will, I think, they're going to be taking those legal actions against, we already know about CPS, but I also think the adoptive parents, they should look into, I think they're going to try and, if they cannot get criminal charges against the family, the adoptive parents, it's at least civil lawsuits they're going to be going for. And here's the High Priestess, and she's shining out over here going that it's a whole mystery of what really happened, but they need to follow their intuition. So should the police. They need to, here's the Nine of Swords. They need to look further into the adoptive parents, folks. They really do. There's a lot of secrets. A lot of secrets that need to be uncovered. So I just, I'm not showing. I want to pull out my Letterman deck, and maybe even the pendulum. I'm not picking up on whether or not these little guys are alive or not. And there's a lot of fear. A lot of fear. They're terrified. They feel abandoned. Tossed aside again. Oh. This is the Queen of Hearts Letterman card, number 17, and it has the swans. And this is our little children's here. This is pretty much the kids were sent to a new home. Those little guys. And the mother. Oh, Ryan, I am so sorry. And here's the card 19. This is the Tower. This is bureaucracy fucked up. And is involved with the rehoming. There is somebody in a powerful position around this community. They're kind of shady, but they helped the West. Did they find them through the internet? Huh. Ooh, the scythe. This. Oh. The kids were moved west. They've been taken away. One of them could have been injured severely and needing surgery. Here's time, 37. This now, with the Tower near time, folks, this means it's going to take a long, long time until there is any kind of resolution. It's like going to be stopped. There's too much overhand. It's like we can't let anyone know what really, really happened. It's going to be really, really bad. So it's a big, huge cover-up, and it's like we thought we could take advantage of these people, and they've been trying to suppress all knowledge. And here, when I say take advantage, I got the whip here, folks, number 11. And you know what this card means? It means someone out there is overpressing, like, wham! Abuse, repeated abuse, anger, punishment. Someone who, and that's where they're trapped right now, and they are being abused and mistreated, which makes me think why one of them had to have surgery or something happened. 18, we have our loyal little doggy. Somebody that's very trustworthy, and everyone thinks they can trust and loyal. I don't know who this person is, but they got some shit going and are making it more difficult. Yeah, Two-Face, the Mask, 40. This beware of what you're feeling and what's being projected. Something isn't quite what it seems. You can't trust everyone. And I really see that with the tower, not trusting bureaucracy, not trusting the government officials. Sorry, folks. It's all alleged. And unfortunately, this is a sarcophagus, and I don't like seeing this card because often it means that death is... It's an end has happened, a death has happened, and that really, I need to get... Or people want to project that they're dead. If there's rumors that they're dead, oh, that makes so much sense. They want you to be deceived. And I pull out the snake, the deception, to think that the boys are gone. They're not. Okay, that's... I think we got a little info on this case. It's a little disturbing, isn't it? It's a lot disturbing. And I want these boys to be found. Whoever has them, you better turn them over. They have a mother and a father who love them, and a grandmother, and they are broken. If you have any information, if you have seen these kids anywhere, please. You know, I'm thinking Nevada, the West, going west from California. No, that's east. That's going west. Where did they cross the sea? Or west from the city of California City. It's just... Oh, I looked at it backward. When I was looking at the card pointing, the side was pointing east, not west. And that's what I needed to... I am sorry, folks. This here means east, not west. I am not good at directions. So yeah, back east. So when I was thinking Nevada, that makes sense now because that's east of California. I know my geography. Anyway, please remember to like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what other cases that you're interested in. Let me know what your thoughts are on this case. I'm really curious what information you've learned. Drop it down. And feel free to contact me with your ideas. You can private message me on any of my socials. Instagram, TikTok, which I don't really look at it, or Instagram. I'm mainly on Twitter, folks, if you want to reach me. Okay? I love you all. Remember, be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. See you next time. Bye.